So the most compelling moment, the most resonant moment of the last night's State of the Union speech was the performative outrage from congressional Republicans when President Biden correctly pointed out that some in their ranks want to cut or sunset Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion. You know, it means if Congress doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you. Look, folks, the idea is that we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks, as we all apparently agree, Social Security and Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be stopped. All right. We got unanimity.
Well, a hit dog will holler, right? Republicans, like, for instance, Senator Mike Lee of Utah, performed exasperated betrayal. Look at it. Look at that face. Look at it. He's hurt even by the suggestion when Biden called him out. Senator is visibly shocked, stunned even. The president would suggest Republicans like himself would cut Social Security. You sure about that, Mike Lee? You sure about that?
I'm here right now to tell you one thing that you probably haven't ever heard from a politician. It will be my objective to phase out Social Security, to pull it up by the roots and get rid of it.
My objective to phase out Social Security, to pull it up by the roots. Sounds pretty unequivocal to me. President Biden was too polite to specifically name the other Republicans he was talking about, but, well, we're not. Senators Rick Scott of Florida and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, those two gentlemen right there on your screen. Scott, who ran the failed Republican attempt to retake the Senate, in fact released a plan. It was like, written and printed and everything, which included a provision to, yes, sunset all laws, require them all to be reapproved by Congress every 5 years, including Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Now, here's the obvious point Republicans won't admit. If they sunset those programs, they're probably not coming back. You really think today's Republican Party, right now, would support reauthorizing a massive, transformative series of social spending programs as they currently exist without gutting them, changing them, reforming them? Of course not. Scott's plan was so indefensible, even Fox News took him to task for it.
So that would raise taxes on half of Americans and potentially sunset programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Why would you propose something like that in an election year?
Sure. Well, John, that's, of course, the Democrat talking points. It's a 11-step
No, it's
plan.
in the plan. It's in the plan.
Let's think about reality for a second. First off, let's talk about Medicare.
But Senator, hang on.
John.
So it's not a Democratic talking point. It's in the plan.
What a bizarre merry-go-round with Rick Scott. No one told Rick Scott he had to put out this wildly unpopular plan. But he does, and then people criticize him, and then he's all like wounded and indignant that people are lying about the plan that he put out. You did it, bro. Biden was right. The jeering crowd of hecklers was wrong. In fact, many Republicans have repeatedly said they want to cut these programs either by raising the retirement age, which is effectively just a cut to benefits in practice, or by using euphemistic language like entitlement reform, which means the same thing.
If it was Matt Gaetz, I think that we do need reforms to Social Security and Medicare.
We got to turn everything into discretionary spending, so it's all evaluated.
The wealthier people are going to have to take a little less in benefits. Younger people are living longer, so we're going to have to adjust the age probably once again.
We can work on prioritizing defense spending, but that's really nibbling around the margins. Okay. If we really want to talk about the debt and spending, it's the entitlements program.
That was 6 weeks ago. It's a month ago. A month ago? A month ago. That was a month ago. What's more, last year, the Republican Study Committee in the House, again, I'm not making this up, I'm just telling you the facts, that's made up of more than 150 members, put out an official budget proposal, not talking off the cuff, not on Steve Bannon's podcast, right? A proposal that someone had to draft and, again, like print out, put on a website that would raise the retirement age to 70. No one made them do that. This is what they want to do. It is rare a president gets to score actual political points during a State of the Union address, which is why Biden seems to have found a new favorite attack line.
They seem shocked when I raised the plans of some of their members and their caucus to cut Social Security. And Marjorie Taylor Greene and others stood up and said, liar, liar. I remind you that Rick Scott from Florida, the guy who ran the U.S. Senate campaign, has a plan. He says all federal legislation sunsets every 5 years. If the law is worth keeping, Congress can pass it again. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
Man's right, whether Republicans want to admit it or not.